Ever since the popular release of Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft has been pumping out Assassin's Creed games almost every year since. We're gonna go back in time to see what made this game so popular. As many of you are aware, we play a character named Desmond, a bartender who is strapped into the Animus. The Animus is a machine that enables the ability to explore memories that are locked away in genes, allowing the user to look at memories of one's ancestors. We learn that we've been kidnapped by Dr. Doofenshmirtz in his laboratory, and he is working for the Templars, and they are after a specific bit of information that is locked away in Desmond's mind. The only way to find what they're looking for, we have to play through a certain part of Desmond's ancestors' memories. That's when we're introduced to Altair, the ancestor of interest. Right off the bat, Altair kills an innocent man. His comrades talk about dishonoring the Brotherhood and remembering the ways, so we already know where this is headed. Altair is a hotshot assassin who cares little for the rules or for the creed, because he's got such big balls and he gets tired from lugging them around all day, and he doesn't have the energy to put up with anybody's shit. The headmaster, El-Mualim, gives a single task to us to retrieve a religious artifact found underground in the temple by the Templars. The Templars are literally like Hydra from the Marvel Cinematic Universe in almost every single way.
What if Pakistan marched into Mumbai tomorrow, and you knew that they were going to drag your daughters into a soccer stadium for execution, and you could just stop it with a flick of the switch?
Would you? Ancestors almost had the right idea, Mr. Miles. If the deaths of a few people, evil people, no less, could save the lives of thousands more, well, it seems a small sacrifice.
Anyways, Altair gets his ass whooped and one of his comrades die as well as the other losing an arm. El-Mualim then pulls the unworthy card that Odin pulled on Thor.
You are unworthy of these realms. You're unworthy of your title. You're unworthy.
But instead of throwing him down to the human world, you get shanked. The story can't end like that, so El-Mualim brings your ass back from the grave so that you can learn your lesson. Disgraced and dishonored, you have been demoted of your status and must perform various tasks and assassinations to gain favor with the Brotherhood again. Soon you're sent out murdering various Templar associates who were to turn their back on the King Richard, who leads the crusade on the Holy Land. The main enemy in all of this is Robert de Sab, the lieutenant of the Crusader army, right-hand man to the king, and the same bastard from back in the temple. As Altair murders these Templars, he finds that every one of them has some sort of motive that didn't seem all that bad. Altair soon finds himself conflicted with each kill, as every one of his targets talk about how they're both similar and that they're fighting for peace in this world.
Evil for a greater good? We are the same.
No, we are nothing alike.
Ah, but I see it in your eyes.
This part of the game doesn't even make much sense. I mean, I stabbed these guys in their neck, yet they still got the time to give me a 50-minute speech that they prepared on the chances of them getting assassinated.
2 hours later.
Your God.
Altair begins to question, why is he being ordered to kill these Templars by his master? That's when we learn that the Templars are after a piece of Eden, an item that is supposed to have been the cause of almost all significant events in the Bible. You keep going around whooping some ass, killing everyone, but when you get to the final target, Robert de Sab, he reveals that the headmaster of the Creed was the ringleader and also a Templar. This son of a bitch lied to me. Now the much wiser, less doucheous Altair must kill his own master, who seeks to use the piece of Eden to control men into doing his bidding, ultimately creating peace. Then you gotta fight all the previous goons you killed before, and it's like the scene from Transformers where Optimus Prime is like,
You'll never stop at one. I'll take you all on!
Using the piece of Eden, Homeboy pulls out the Shadow Possession Jutsu and the Shadow Clone Jutsu. The secret to beating the old headmaster is to use everything you've learned so far. Just kidding, you just throw a bunch of knives at him and then sucker punch his old ass. Once El-Mualim has been defeated, you see a map of the globe with spots revealing the locations of something, which is what Dr. Doofenshmirtz and the Templars have been looking for in Desmond's memories. You're then left with the eerie message at the end of the game reading, I entered the Animus, and I never returned. As for critiques, there's a lot of trailing missions that create these dry moments in the game, and the combat gets pretty repetitive, especially when you're trapped between a bunch of goons and all you can do is counter the crap out of them. Some of the mechanics are also a little broken. For example, when I'm jumping from roof to roof, sometimes I'll make a far jump and I'll hit this invisible wall and just plummet to the earth. Regardless of these points, I believe there was a lot of potential that the first Assassin's Creed game created for the rest of the franchise. However, I did hear that Ubisoft came and took a massive crap on all that potential, but we'll talk about that when we get to those later games. I believe the thing that always separated Assassin's Creed from bad to good in the earlier games was the influence of various real cultures and religions. There's no doubt that a lot of history and culture was researched during the development of this game. I mean, in Assassin's Creed 1, we run into different cultures and people in every city we enter. Every time you log into this game, there's a notice that tells you that this game was based on real figures and religions. That finishes our video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to leave a like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to catch all our Assassin's Creed story breakdowns. I'm the Video Game Hokage. See you guys next week.